Okay, so today we are going to be making a memo. A memo is a lot like a letter, but the purpose of a memo is that it's shorter, more concise, more to the point, and more not as formal as a letter. Some of them are done on letterheads and some of them aren't. For the purpose of today, we are not going to be doing anything on letterhead. We're just going to be creating a memo. So if you go to DA2 and then you go to Unit 1, we're going to go ahead down to Assignment 4, and it says Download the Word document. Follow the tutorial and create a memo. You're going to save it as DA2-1-4 last name and put it on OneDrive. So once you have downloaded it, it should show up for you down here in this bottom left corner. Go ahead and click on it and it is going to open up. Remember that we have this yellow strip here that if we want to be able to copy, paste, change, do whatever, we need to go ahead and hit Enable Editing. All right, so very first thing we'll do is we'll go to File, New, and we'll go to Blank Document, and we can show them side by side so that they are easier to accomplish and read at the same time. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this over to our new document. All right. We're going to change the font at the end, and I'll allow you to change the font to whatever you want, but for right now we're going to change the color of just the from and the to, let's see, we will make it red. So from and to, and you just click on it, highlight it, and then you can change the color right here to, there's all different colors, but we're just going to choose red. We're going to make a couple spaces, and then we're going to go down and we're going to copy this Attention All Employees. Okay, so this is what the bulk of this memo is about. So attention all employees, and I think we'll make attention all employees and maybe we'll make it blue. So you can pick one of the blues. Then we have all of this information here. So that's basically all we're doing so far. Now it's going to get a little bit more what you have to do. So it says that you are going to create a centered title below this statement that says seasonal price information. So I'm just going to copy and paste the copy, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go down maybe one, just to have a little bit of a break because it's going to get really big. And it says that it has to be centered. So remember, that has to do with alignment. So if I put my cursor, the blinking light, if I put it at the beginning of the sentence, and I go up here to under where it says paragraph, make sure you're on the Home tab, and then go to Center Align, it puts it in the center. And we are going to highlight this, and we are going to make it blue again. And as you can see, blue is the last color I used, so I don't even have to click on the little arrow. I can just click on the blue, and it will turn it blue. All right, so now it says we are going to make a 4-column table and enter the price information listed below. The line, so see this line right here, tells where the columns are. So yes, you're either going to have to copy and paste or you're going to have to type all this information in. But before you do that, we're going to put in a table. So we're going to go here and We're going to leave it on center justified for right now. We're going to go over to insert table, and I believe this is 4 by 6. Whoops, wrong one, undo. Undo is Control Z, or you can click this arrow right here. So insert table 4 by 6. All right, so like I said, you can either copy and paste each one over here, or you can just type it. All right, so now I have put in my table. So like I said, it was 4 wide by 6 long. It's basically all of this information, so it's going to look something like this. Then it says that we have to adjust the table properties so that every other row is shaded gray. So to select my table, I have to click on, see how when you have if you just click on your table someplace, you get this plus in the top. If I click on it, I now have some extra tabs up here. So since we're doing something with shading, changing like that, it is more about design than than the layout. And if you click on design, there's this element that says table style. So now we're going to click on it, and you can look in here, and it kind of gives you an idea of what it would or would not look like. If you wanted just every other line, for me, I think I like these over here a little bit better because it has both the titles of the columns and the titles of the rows highlighted. So I'm going to go ahead here and pick on this one. And if you click off of it, now you've got a nice table that is got different colors and highlights, and it just makes it much easier for somebody to read. The last thing you need to do is you have to write the following statement. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this underneath, and then it'll say add your name to the bottom. So we're going to go ahead underneath here, and we're going to put sincerely and change this to your name. Now, like I told you, a memo should be something that is shorter, it's more concise, easy to get out and to read. Well, this goes on to 2 pages. It's very difficult for a flyer or information to be on 2 pages. So we need to start changing the size of things so that it makes sense. So I'm not going to tell you which way to do it, but if I select all, which is either Control A, which will select everything here, or you can just click and hold and drag to the bottom. And if you look here, everything's at 20 point. 20 point is big. 12 is the standard for most letters, that type of stuff. So we're going to make it 14 just so that we can see what it does. Now that looks much better. It is all on one page, and it's much easier to read. It still has the color, the attention, that type of stuff. The second thing that we can do is we can make some of this stuff stand out. So this is maybe if you want to say who it's from, if you want to click on it, you can click bold. Definitely the seasonal price information, that is what the whole memo is about. So we definitely want to make that bold, and I would probably make that a little bigger. So maybe that one can be 20 so that we can go ahead and do that. So you can play with it. If you want to change the font, I would go ahead and change the font to whatever you feel is appropriate. The one thing I will tell you in business is you do not want to mix fonts. So it would be really bad if I went and I said, okay, for this one, I want it to be this one. And for this one, I want it to be this font. And this, I want it to be the next one. You can't mix font. It's very difficult to read and understand if that's what you are doing. It might look cool, you might like it, but for a memo, you should pick a font and keep the font throughout the whole thing. If one element is going to be a different font, that might be okay. But in general, we should have just one font. So we're going to select it all. Remember to select it all. You hit Control A, or you just click, hold, and drag. And we are going to create the same font. So I will use Arial but now, like I said, this one is still in bold. It is the same font, but it is in bold. Okay, same thing here. I can click this one and see these here. This one here makes it italicized, which means it goes on a slant. Okay, I don't particularly like that there, so I'm going to do that. But maybe here, seasonal price information, if I go to this one, I can click on it, and you can choose a different outline, a different underline that's going to make it look, bring your attention to it, something that they want to do. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and save it now, which is File, Save As, and then you go to Browse. Remember, over here on the left-hand side, you should be able to see your Business 1 folder, your Unit 1 folder, and then we are going to call it DA2-1-4 last name. Once you have done that, you can put it on OneDrive, and we will move on to the next assignment.